right, we live, brother. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel, brothers of the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. We the brothers here at GMS Kansas City, camp or branch of the Great Millstone. And the Spirit compelled us to do a lesson through the Spirit just about idolatry and how the world was going to shits because of the wickedness of the people and the fact that the law, statutes, and commandments are not being propagated here in the earth. So therefore, unrighteous rulership and unrighteous decrees is set forth at its all-time high, man. All right, and the reason why you have mass inflation, death, destruction, okay, tornadoes. We just had a tornado that pretty much hit Kansas City 2 nights ago. The Momo agenda, which this is the month for it, the Pride month. And I believe Kansas City got a separate month on its own. What is it in like August or July, August?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, wickedness is at an all-time high, man. And the men of the Lord, we're out here proclaiming the gospel and to tell our people to repent in a destroyed world because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy this damn society, man. All right, and it's shit, the way it's going, man, we ain't got too much longer left. So, hey, brother, you go ahead, man. You got the first precept. Shit, follow the Spirit, bro.
I got Matthew 4:4.
Mm-hmm.
He answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High."
God, every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. Okay, the law, statutes, and commandments, the oracles of the Lord, which is given to his prophets. So the Most High has his men out here week in and week out doing shows day in and day out to give you the word, to give you the understanding, to give you the longevity of the spirit. And that's what we're supposed to live by. But the world has negated the true wisdom and knowledge of the Lord. Okay, and they chose to follow darkness in the form of Esau, Edom, because of his wickedness that he's put on earth, man. So therefore, unrighteous laws are going forth. Because if you live according to the law, statutes, and commandments, you'll have a profitable society. Okay, everything will be in perfect unison, balance, tranquility. You know, like when the Most High sets up a ruler, they're supposed to go after the law, statutes, and commandments. Prime example, Jake, they went and they put Biden in office, but that was a bad move because let's just say if they did want to choose a heathen over them, he was supposed to still keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High because he's supposed to rule in the oracles and instead of the Most High to benefit the Lord's people.
Yeah.
You know?
And heathen weren't given the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High or his covenant or any feelings. So that's why by default, when there's any heathen rulership, everything goes awry. Whether it's the Babylonians, the Assyrians, all their empires and their rulerships came to naught because they were wicked in their dealings. Almost for number one, they oppressed the children's, the Most High's children, the apple of his eye. Then number two, they were setting up idolatry and all type of wicked practices, and that's why the Lord laid decay to their whole society, to where a lot of things, like a lot of examples that we see today, as far as people killing each other, the robbery, the social decay, all that was going on in ancient empires too before they fell. And it all goes back to not being able, them being of a reprobate mind, because these heathens are natural reprobates. And you can't have a foolish person, aka a reprobate, as a leader. It's counterproductive. A leader is supposed to be wise, supposed to understand. Really, first and foremost, be in tune with the vibration of the scriptures. Because if that's not the foundation, this is what we see just within society. Look at the American dollar. The gold, according to the scriptures, Abraham and his substance, he had gold, he had cattle, he had land, he had silver. But here in America, we got the fucking white man ruling. He gives us a fiat currency. And then on top of that, he wants to give us a programmable dollars, which we should know what that is. So that's just shows you how, you know, doing away with the ways of the Most High, that just causes fucking chaos, man.
Yeah, come on, bro, because you made a point about the whole fiat currency, which they use the fiat currency to pay bills, which you can't pay. That's like trying to pay a light bill with monopoly money. They're gonna say, "What the hell is that?" You know what I'm saying? Because that whole term fiat It's basically shit that's being printed out of thin air, has no value to it. But I got a precept for you. This is the book of yep, this is Sirach 10, and I'm gonna start at verses 1. It says, "A wise judge would instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered." Man,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Break it down, bro.
And it's supposed to be well ordered according to what the scriptures say. Just
Yep.
like King Solomon, when he set up his governance, it was all based upon the law, statutes, and commandments. Because we see one of his first acts was to make a temple to the Lord, because that was the first thing you're supposed to do is give, make sure the how can I put this? The intentions first goes to the Most High, rather than, okay, we got this governor over here, he's getting bribed, and he's, this in America they got a such thing as fucking lobbyists. To the government, they sell to the highest bidder. When the scriptures tell the government, wise nation is supposed to be well ordered. I mean, you got the king, you got his officers, you got captains. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what the Most High is bringing back by way of the Israelite man raising up in the truth. He's back a well-ordered government. That's why we have apostles over us. That's why we have the bishops under them. That's why we have the elders over each camp, the captains and heads of the camp, the captains for each in each camp as well. You know what I mean? That's called being well ordered. All right. And all of our basis on what we do is the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right, because that's right. That's order and structure, man. Like when you go into I believe it's in the book of shit, man, not Leviticus. It may be in Numbers if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I read that story, but basically when Moses was set up to judge the people, what the Jethro told him, he said, "Look, you're going to destroy yourself in this people." He said, "What you need to do is take captains and elders over every tribe and put up dignitaries over these particular tribes. So therefore, they can judge the smaller matters and you judge the greater matters, man." Okay, but even then, we had order and structure, because even when you look at the ark, how it was built, it was built. You had a certain amount of cubits, which a cubit goes into basically your forearm, like the length of your forearm or your shoulder to your arm.
Yeah.
But we were bigger then, but even then it had particular order. The Most High gave Noah a structure on how to build this thing. So when you're dealing with a lawless ass society and shit is all over without a cause, then that's why you got chaos. That's why you got momos, and that's why you got people getting shot up at funerals, man. Like, this is the hypocrisy of it, right? Now think about it out. When you go to court, right? And let's just say if you go to court, let's say if you put your woman to death for committing adultery.
Yeah.
But then how you swear on the Bible.
Yeah.
But you put her to death according to the scriptures because that's the order of it. Okay, she committed adultery, she be destroyed. But you go to fucking court, they say, "Well, look, you committed a murder, we're gonna lock you up for life." But wait a minute, you just having to swear on the Bible. Right. And you're supposed to be able to go in the scriptures and say, "Well, look, Leviticus or this such and such says this. If a woman lie with a woman that's adultery, they should be put to death."
Yeah.
That shows that this society has no order to it, man. That's why women is above in power. That's why women can go out and do what they want to do. That's why little kids are out here as fucking monsters, man. That's why you got the fucking momos and so forth, man. Because there's no damn order. Okay?
Right, man.
That's
showing you the Most Highs of our order, because Yahweh Shai, that was his first acts in his ministry, was to go out and seek the 12, which would be the pillars of the church.
Yeah.
Because each brother had his office. He had Peter as the head. You know what I mean? But also look at Moses and Aaron. Moses was set up as somewhat of a king over the Israelites at that time. And then the Lord, when the Lord appeared unto Moses, he said, Moses told him, "I'm not a good orator." So the Lord let Aaron be the speaker for Moses, man. So that's order. That's doing things in synchronization. So, the words of the Most High can be played out. But now we got wicked fucking Edomites ruling the planet. They have no care and concern about the Most High or his laws. So now everything that they decree is all based on their own fucking personal gain or their lust or being a freak, making them feel comfortable with their wickedness. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got all the Momo agenda out here, Pride Month, because that really makes, the sick, depraved elites feel comfortable. It's like a pig in a playpen. You know how pigs ain't comfortable until they got everything muddy and dirty. When something is clean, in order, certain animals don't like that. You know, they actually like filth, like a cockroach, and that's exactly who's ruling the planet.
Fucking
So
cockroach.
part and parcel of that, that's why everything is out of whack. That's why we can't even go to the store, to the grocery store, and get good fruits and vegetables without it being genetically modified. We can't even breathe air without chemtrails. You know what I mean? You can't deal with women because they so demonic like that. You know what I'm saying? You
Man.
gotta pump and dump them, and that's because how Esau got them programmed. You know what I mean? For this reason or that. Let me pause for a second, brother Salaki.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep going. Well, backing up what the brother said, man, about order. I'm trying to find this precept here in the book of Matthew, because when Yahweh Shai sent the prophets out, he sent them by two, man. Matter of fact, yep. This is the book of Mark 6 and 7. It says, and he called unto him the 12 and began to send them forth two by two and gave them power over unclean spirits. Okay, so that's an order, that's a structure. Okay, like right now we're building a righteous government, man, through order. Okay, but the Most High have to put this principality down because it's without order and arraignment. And it says here, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men is it says, and the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. Okay, so the whole point about it is, if you got a freakazoid in office, or if you got a demon that rulership, then the people it's gonna trickle on down to the people. Okay, because they have what they called birds of a feather flock together, man. So that's why it says, if you have a wicked government or an establishment, therefore the people are going to be wicked. And the reason why the people are wicked and out of order is because Esau, Edom is the devil. So you got a bunch of minor devils walking around here, man. Okay, and that's the reason why America is in a full-fledged decline right now. This society is swine diving off the top mountain, man, head first. Okay, because the Most High is sick of this place. And reading on, and it reads, it says here, and what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Okay, so like the brother went into the whole Momo, the whole Miss Piggy agenda, because Esau Edom is like that. He's a total degenerate. Okay, he's a degenerate, and he's not righteous in the sight of the Most High. So therefore, that's why they got Pride Month. That's why they got worshiping Baphomet, worshiping these different demons. Him trying to open up the portal to CERN to extract different demons from the spirit world, etc. Okay, because this government is not ordered through prudence, and it's not being led by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, and reading on, it says, and an unwise king destroyed his people. Prime example, bro. Like, it was clear skies today, but what Esau do? He sprayed chemtrails, which is known as cloud seeding, in order to bring rain tomorrow. Why? Because he disrupts the natural order of things. He don't keep the land Sabbath. Okay, he cuts down trees. He destroyed the ecosystems. So therefore, he have to come up with this geoengineering or manufacturing gases and vapors in the air to create rain, which is toxic, man. Because when it was raining the other day, man, it smelled like straight metal outside, man. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. So you can tell, like they say, they put barium oxide, like all kind of heavy metals in those trails.
Yeah. Oh. And you can smell it, man.
Mm-hmm. I got another precept. This is a little lengthy, but it's going into Genesis 2, just to foreshadow the precept going into the creation, because we know the Lord, he created the heavens and earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh. So he did his work as far as creating the environment that we live in, and then he placed man to be the overlords of it, if you will, starting with Adam. Adam was given also when the Lord breathed life into him, which we'll get. That was the law, statutes, and commandments, was to execute among himself and the rest of the people that were with him, so that that beautiful creation could maintain itself and sustain. You see, so I'm gonna read it. It says, Genesis 2:3 says, and the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which the Most High created and made. And even that is tossed out the window in today's society. The Lord being the author of everything, right? Because they'll tell you things like Darwinism, the theory of evolution, and the long earth. When really the earth was only created in 6,000 years. Each day representing 1,000 years. But then this devil will tell you 300 million years ago the dinosaurs walked the earth.
That's bullshit.
This guy's full of shit. It says, verse 4, it says, these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. And in the day that the Lord power made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground.
That's like what they call a dew. Like when you wake up in the morning, like mainly in the 90s, man, you wake up, you see the grass that's wet. You'll ask yourself, did it rain? But no, the earth have natural filters in it, man, to the point that the earth, it lubricates itself. It detects, like the earth is a living organism, man. It's a living, all right. This whole abode that we own is actually living. That's why it's able to do away with the chemicals in the air, man. Okay, because the earth can detect once the soil was extra dry, it's gonna water itself, man. Okay, just like a sprinkler.
Everything at that time was lush and lavish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you can imagine like a rainforest with all kind of animals and birds and waterfalls and rivers and huge trees. That's how it was. It was beautiful. And you have certain remnants and pockets of that today, but it's nothing like how it was because of sin. You know what I mean? It says, at verse 7, and the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
And the breath of life, the breath of life is this truth, man. This understanding, because that wasn't given to all the nations, man. Okay, that was given to the specific line of Adam, which we know as the Adamites, which that first spirit was Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, you other nations, you didn't get the wisdom and understanding of the Most High because you had other men that was on the earth at that time that the Lord created, but He chose that line, which would later on be the sons of God, okay, or the Banyasha, or the what is it, the sons, which is Bunya, and of God Allah, okay, but they later became the princes of the power, which is the Israelites, man. Okay, that was us in the reincarnation. So when they say that the sons of God lay with the daughters of men, those were just basically saying Israelites, man. Because before we were called Israelites, we were called the sons of the Most High. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, and I got a precept to go with that. Is Job 32:8. It says, "But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding." So that breath that put into Adam was the understanding of the Most High's ways, which it wasn't written on tablets until the time of Moses. But the men in during the time of the creation had the laws as an oral tradition, so they would tell each other what to do. You know what I mean? So it says, going back to Genesis, it says, and the Lord power planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And that's basically going into the land of Israel before it was called, because eastward, Israel is in the east. That lavish and lush land, or it was. It says, and out of the ground made the Lord power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So we had there was that the ways of righteousness and the ways of wickedness, like what the serpent came with was the ways of wickedness. So some people had that mentality as well, and that's what as we read further into the story, caused Adam to fall. Just like with the Israelites, what caused us to fall was the heathen that were around us. We started doing their customs as well, and that's what eventually got us to remove out of our land. It says, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it, which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And I believe that river Pison is what they call the Nile. You know, it says, in the gold of the land is good, where there is bdellium and the onyx stone. The name of the second given is Gihon. This the same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the Salaki is actually Gihon. That's the Nile, because the Nile goes through Ethiopia all the way up through Egypt. So it says, and the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is which goeth toward the east of Assyria. So that's showing you that that garden eastward was in the Middle East. It wasn't in Africa like some bugged out Rastafarians are trying to say. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
That's why when you look at the map of Israel geographically, it sits and is that's why actually the continent of Israel is actually in the land of Asia now, but it's direct, like it's so crazy because Israel is like a crossroads. Like if
Yeah.
you Mediterranean, how it harbors, and then you got the Nile River. If you
Mm-hmm.
look at the way Israel sits on a geographical map, you would see that it touches pretty much, okay, the land of Canaan, which is Africa. Okay, you got the Middle East, which it sits in, but it's on a tectonic plate of Asia, so to speak, man. And that's how you know that when it's talking about the rivers and the garden, that it's talking about the land of Israel. Because if you look at the map and you look at the Nile River and you look at the river Euphrates and how it centers everything, Israel was like the center hub of all things, man. That's why the scriptures say Jerusalem is the mother of us all. She roughly paraphrasing it, Jerusalem is the mother of us all, because that's where we come from. That's like the cradle of civilization, man. Okay, and you look at the map. That's why Solomon in the kingdom, well, when he set up his kingdom, that's why it was so lucrative, because you had the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, you had all the good substance that grew in that particular part of the land, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why it's good for you brothers to get into geography too. I know Apostle Tahar pushed that a long time ago to like study ancient maps and so forth. But when you go into like the study Bibles, they'll show you exactly like what land was what land.
Yeah. And it's perfect the way it's set up, because that's why in the kingdom of prophecy goes that all nations shall flow into it, because the land of Israel has easy access to all those continents, so that all the heathen from these different lands could come and give their substance. And that's what they were doing during the time of Adam, because there were other people in different parts of the world too, but they all bowed down to Adam.
Mm-hmm.
As in the Lord power took and the Lord power took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So dressing and keeping the garden basically goes into when the Israelites were also told to keep when the Lord said, "Thou shalt keep my laws, keep my charge." That's what was told of Adam. So he knew. So even that's why he ended up receiving a punishment for hearkening to his wife, because Adam already knew that that was wrong to do. It's just that he was convinced through the lust of his flesh, you know? It says, and the Lord power commanded the man, saying of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. So that was the point we was going to, that wickedness, that's what brought death. That's what brings degradation and destruction, was wickedness. Going back to, the concept, wickedness desynchronized the creation. Because of course Adam was created, but him that uh uh partaking in that wickedness was what caused him to die. So from that process, everything just started going haywire, man. To the point where the Lord was shortening lifespans. The longest living descendant of Adam was Methuselah. He lived 969 years. Then the Lord had to cut down years and years for each generation, because until all the way from Adam to the time of Noah, man got more wicked and more wicked and more wicked. And then the Lord brought that final judgment. But it's funny now, because we want our lessons to touch on prophecy as well. It says, as the days of Noah shall the coming of the Son of Man be.
Well, I got a precept real quick. This is the book of Second Ezra, the 14th chapter. Damn, peace, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 14. That's crazy. Jake can't get no peace, man.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking place, bro. But anyway, this is the book of...
drowning out your sound though. I can still hear you clearly.
Okay, con. All right, well, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 14, and I'm gonna start at 22. And it reads here, it says, "What have I found grace before thee? Send the Holy Ghost into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning." Okay, and we're going into the beginning because these law, statutes, and commandments were set up since the beginning, like the brother was going into, which were written in thy law, okay, which is written in the law, that men might find thy path, and that they which live will live in the latter days may live, man. Okay, and that shows you that the law is still relevant today, and that these commandments was given in the garden. It was given orally. The same commandment that Moses was given on the tablets was the same thing that was passed down orally. Hold on, brother. Damn. Wow. Shit crazy, bro. Like, goddamn. So Slakia. Anyway, so going back, it says here, "But if I have found the grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost," will show you that the Holy Spirit has been around since the beginning of time, man. Okay, because that's that breath, that understanding. And it says here, "The Holy Ghost into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning, which were written," says, "which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they may which live in the latter days may live," man. Okay. So that's the whole point, man. The law, statutes, and commandments have been set up since the beginning. Okay. Like the brother was going into. So when we was in a garden, ultimately when we rebelled, that's when we fell from grace. And that's when sin entered the world. Because we went off because we were given the commandments. The other heathen, they wasn't given the law, statutes, and commandments, but they knew of them because Adam was propagating those things, man. And they had a certain order, but the nations were always being wicked. Okay. Just like today, when we go out the heathens and the customs and so forth, what happens? We get thrown in captivity. Okay. So it's just a constant cycle of repetitiveness that Jake was falling victim behind the heathen and being put in subjection for, man. Okay. That's why the scripture said there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing. You know? Matter of fact, I had another precept here. If you got something, go ahead, bro. But I
15,
yep.
It says, "It is abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness." So that shows you there the type of order a king is supposed to have, because it's abomination. It's disgusting for a king to be wicked, you know? And that's why the Israelites we got the perfect setup, because Yahushua passed on as a sacrifice so that we could be those vessels of righteousness, so that when we sit in that seat of rulership, we will never be wicked. We will never do anything wicked, because that's a detestable, because we had kings of the past like King Ahab, King Ahaz, King Manasseh. Even though they were Israelites, they came from obviously the righteous seed, but they had the wicked flesh, which they hearkened unto. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Saul, then look what happened to Joab. You know what I'm saying? And different men like that.
Yep.
Okay, because
they brought ruin on them after they went off. Like Saul, the kingdom was taken from him after he didn't listen to the Lord with killing all the Amalekites and killing their cattle. He left the king alive and said he was going to sacrifice their cattle. So the Lord took the dominion from him and gave it to David.
Because Saul knew the commandments, man. Because what's saying? He told him, he said, it's better to obey than to sacrifice, because sin, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, man. And Saul knew the commandments, because if he didn't know the commandments, the scriptures say, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." What did he do to the witch of Endor and all the witches? He banished them into the outward coast of Israel. You see what I'm saying? And so they knew the commandments, man. And that's why Jake got jacked up, man. Okay. So going into the whole account of Jehu, okay. All these men in the ancient world, they knew. Okay. Like you had Obadiah that hit 100 prophets in an account of 50, but he was still serving a wicked counselor, which was Ahab, man. Because that was the husband of Jezebel, and she put the hit out on the man of the Lord. And hey, when Elijah came to Obadiah, he said, well, look, man, this is the deal with that. You know that he's being wicked, but he did a righteous thing by hiding the prophets. But hey, he still had to get an account for it, man. Okay. And it be like that sometimes, because what was that man that was what was that Israelite? He was basically a cupbearer to the king, and the king was on an idolater, but he had to go before and kind of keep the king's commandments, but he still worshiped Yahweh Shai. I was just going into that the other day. I forgot about it, but not Nehemiah, but it was in Second Kings, I think the 6th chapter, man. Okay.
Back over that.
Yeah, Khan. You could read about in Second Kings. He was basically the cupbearer to the king, but the king was like an idolater, but yet the Jake worked out by Shemal Shai, but he had kind of finagle his way and deal with the heathenistic accounts. It was almost like with Daniel, but Daniel didn't go off. Daniel, he stayed true to the Most High, and that's why he got thrown in the lion's den. But you had certain Jakes, man, that was under like wicked rulers. Like look at Joseph in Egypt, man. He was under Pharaoh, you know. So, but I got a precept here real quick to back you up. This is the book of Psalms 106, and I'm gonna start at verses 32. It says here, they angered him at the water of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. And they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them to do, because what did the Most High command us to do when we came out of Egypt? Certain nations he commanded us to take the spoils and kill every last one of them, all right, and take the women and take their substance and their spoil. But it says here, but mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And it says, and they served their idols, which were a snare to them. And yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood, man.
And the Lord abhors that type of behavior. When you are sitting there having that relationship with an idol, the Lord looks at people that do that like a total abomination, like totally wicked, because you are sitting there and giving your all as an Israelite man to a God that's no God. You look like a fool in the eyes of the Most High, because those idols were given to the heathen. It wasn't given to you. You know, that's why these jakes in the Christian church, they're defiled. They have a defiled mindset, and then they first and foremost they worship idols. But then you need no longer than talk to these guys for more than 5 minutes, and you'll find out they into all other kind of wickedness. You know.
Yeah, you got Christian niggas they go to swinger bars, man. They be in Momo agenda, all types of shit, man. You Christians are weird as hell. You bug the fuck out, man. All right, like y'all don't believe in that garbage, because that's a melting pot of straight concoction of idolatry, man. Okay, for you to be in a Christian church, you basically calling yourself a witch. You ain't nothing but a witch, man. And that's what Psalms 106 is going into. Is going into our idolatry, man. How Jake went off, and it goes here. And it says, thus they were defiled with their own works, and went a horn with their own invention. Therefore was the wrath of Yahweh kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and that they hated them that ruled over them, man. So that's the whole point. What we were going into. That's what happens when you give your life over to idolatry, when you start serving other gods, man. That's why we in this fucked up predicament now as a nation. Jake can't get right. Here the men of the Lord are out here prophesied week in and week out, but yet, you know, they're still converging over to idols.
That's right.
It says Harvest 2 said, what are idols? Idols is something basically that you put above. Idol is basically something you worship above the Most High. Like your car, for example. Like if you had, let's say if you had a Hellcat 2022 and you cherish that car, you love it, you worship it. Basically, that's just what it is. An idol is something that basically have no life in it. It's an object that you worship as a power or as a god. That's an idol. Like if you read the story about in Exodus, when Moses received the commandments, and then when they was down there, they made a image of a golden calf and was worshiping it, man. Here the Most High gave the prophet the commandments to teach Israel, but yet they made a golden calf and they started worshiping that shit. something that have no power, man. Like a cross, that can be an idol. Okay, a vehicle, anything, shoes, anything you put on a pedestal as being a higher power than Yahweh Bashem and Yahweh Shai. Question. Okay.
You got more on your precept, brother?
Yeah, Khan. And it says here, and their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand.
And see, the foreshadowing of being oppressed was going off, because that's what it always leads to. It always leads to tears, sadness, depression, man. Whenever you stray away from the Most High's ways, and it's the same formula. You can't just make 1 + 1 equal a number you want it to. 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. But you see, Jake, they think that because they see the other heathen getting some type of benefit from worshiping idols, they not getting judged. Let's say, oh, well, we're gonna do this too. Most High, He'll have mercy. Most High, He don't care about us sacrificing our kids. You know, we can do that. We see us, the Canaanite just did that. Let's try it ourselves. This Jake is that simple. They impressionable, you know. And Jake does not feel the repercussions until Jake does not understand the repercussions until they feel it physically. That's why. Oh, you got it, brother.
Well, that's why the Most High is fucking them niggas up, man. That's hey, them niggas went in there and they put Biden in office, bro. Now look at them. Now they mad. They complaining. I'm trying to redact on it now. We want Trump. Nah, bro. Y'all voted for this crackpot, for this pedophile, man. And now you got what you got. Okay, and the Most High been telling you that every time, bro. You niggas learn the same lesson. That's why when we're reading here, it says here, many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity, man.
That's close the book on that one. Lesson done.
It's like, bro, it's just what it is. And Jake gonna find out the hard way. Because 2/3 of our people gonna bow down to that Karachma, man, which is that's the modern day the idol. But that RFID CHIP, we have to abbreviate it because Esau Edom, he gets butthurt when you bring out the whole MOTB. But Revelation 13:16, that's gonna be the ultimate idol that's gonna get your ass hit with the missiles, man.
That's right, brother.
And it says here, nevertheless, he regarded their affliction, and when he heard their cry, and he remembered for them his covenant and repented according to the multitude of mercies. And he also made them to be pity of all those that carried them captives, man. Okay, because the scriptures tell you, it says, in the time of our affliction, thy enemies shall entreat thee well. And also it said that it said they should, roughly paraphrase this in Job, it says that his children should seek to please the Lord, man.
Right.
But you got a lot of Edomites now, man. They trying to be hand in hand with Jake. Like this whole BLM bullshit, even though that's set up by Marxists and Edomites, Jake is the face of that. But yeah, you got predominantly Edomites that's marching hand in hand with Jake, man. You see?
Well, the oppression ain't the same as it was in, let's say, the 1700s, 1800s back then as it is now upon us, because our people are starting to turn back to the Most High. So you got Esau, he's not really in that devil spirit like he was back then, hanging Jake and doing this and that, because the Lord sees his people are returning to him. Though, we know Esau is going to have his last hurrah. He's going to go full devil mode. But for the most part, us as brothers in our lifetime, we didn't have to experience like segregation in the Jim Crow age, because this is the age of Israel waking up, God. Like some of our grandparents, great grandparents had it a lot worse than us, because they were the dry bones, completely dead. You know what I mean?
God. Hey, the brother Mercy until the elect 144, and that's a good precept. Wisdom of Solomon 14:27. It says, for the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil, man. Okay. Ooh. Because it's the cause of why we went off, but the end game is the Most High gonna destroy this place, man. That's why the Most High say he should break down Merodach. Merodach being a top idol here in America, man. Okay, you can affiliate that with Baphomet, with Baal, with what's his other name, Molech, because all these deities that Jake worshipped in the ancient world, they're basically resurging as these modern day demons. They're the same entities, but they're renamed under different kingdoms, so to speak. Like you have Ishtar, okay, or Lady Liberty, so to speak. But then you go into the fertility goddess of Easter, so to speak. All these demons were pretty much revitalized through different kingdoms like the Assyrians, the Babylonians, man, the Greeks, okay, the Persians and the Medes, you know, and so forth. All right.
That's why a person that's a T gender, they're what they don't understand is they're like a walking idol. They're like a walking representation of Baphomet. They don't understand this, of course, because the media and so forth would just paint it as, okay, this person is living their truth, but it's a much more sinister thing behind that shit. That's why they have a whole month. Why is Pride Month in the 6th month of all months?
Hey, that's the number of men.
The 666. It's demon worship.
Yep.
It's really them. Pride Month is not celebrating men getting with men or women getting with women. It's really venerating their idols, like Janus, like what's some of their gods, like Diana. All these different gods, they were gender benders too. That's why Zeus was known to change figures at times. Zeus has certain accounts of him turning into a woman, because that's how the gods of the heathens always got down, because they were given confusion. Just like with when the Lord turned the serpent, all the days of thy life thou shalt eat up the dust of the ground. That represents the confusion, because in truth, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is a man. We don't have no gender bending gods, you know.
Oh shit, bro! You seen that new documentary, man? What is a woman?
Oh, I seen snippets of it, man.
That shit.
Ham was Ham was making Esau look like a fool, man. These are dusty, dirty Hamites that they know the simple truth that a woman is a woman,
Bro.
You know?
Because look, we was in Genesis. If you go down to Genesis 1:27, it says, "Man created he them, and he created she them." Roughly paraphrasing, the Most High created two sexes, man. Well, all this gender neutral and all this 275. How the fuck do you? Okay, show me somebody on the planet Earth outside of a male anatomy or a lower male extremity and a lower female extremity. Show me a person that got something else, man. Or
Yeah.
just somebody with a fucking wine bottle that they asshole.
Yeah, that would constitute as a new gender if like someone just pulled out a rose petal out of their pants and that was their genitalia. But that
Right.
don't, you know what I mean?
It's stupid, man. And I mean, you got people, they call them hermaphrodites. Okay, some people have two of the same things, but
Yeah, that's
hermaphrodite can still be a male or female, man. They were
right.
just cursed with born with you know, both things, so to speak. And even then at birth, a lot of them get that shit, you know, they get it kind of refixed. But regardless, is you either man or you a woman. Ain't no goddamn 152 different genders.
Because usually with those hermaphrodites,
Yeah,
the real sex that they are, that organ is still working. The other one would be sterile.
zero, yeah,
You
yep.
know?
Con. Hey man, can you pull that precept? What is it? Gross darkness cover the earth. I think that's Isaiah 60. But I want to read this here. This is Leviticus 19:4. Matter of fact, it says here, turn ye not into idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am Yahweh your power. Okay. And if you offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh, you shall offer it your own will. All right. You're supposed to sacrifice and give what we call the drink offering to the Most High, man. We call it damn, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Oblation to the Most High, man.
Mm-hmm.
We have our feast, our high holy days, the Passover. We drink the wine. Okay, we have the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, we have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We got the Feast of Dedicate, you know, weeks and so forth. We offer up offerings to the Most High, man. We ain't sitting up here bowing down to no Cesare Borgia, or we ain't bowing down to this vessel right here. You got fucking heathens that worship fucking wooden vessels, man. No, libation is like a drink offering, man. All right. Let me know when you get that
too.
Okay, I'm gonna read this real quick. Mercy unto the elect 144. Judges 10:14. It says, "Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in a time of your tribulation." Con, bro. Con, bro. Hey, look, man, it's gonna get fucking graphic out here, bro. Like when the Most High start fucking you niggas up, man. Hey, go cry to Cesare, man. Go cry to the black woman. All you niggas in the black unconscious community, man. You don't believe that bullshit. The black woman is God, but hey, since you claim that, go cry to her, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go cry to the fucking dildo gods, man. Go cry to the fucking obelisks that you worship. Because all those monuments and so forth, like the Washington Monument, okay, that ain't nothing but a fucking obelisk, man. That's a phallic, that's a rod, man. Would show you that this kingdom is nothing but freakism.
God.
Straight freakism, man.
That's when the people gonna learn you don't disobey the Lord of hosts. The Lord said, you do this, you do it, you know? But
Bro,
most people, they don't walk in the fear.
did you see that chariot that was over LA? That huge chariot?
Oh, yeah. I just seen that a second ago.
Hey, that looked like the one that, you remember we went fishing like a couple years ago. We was out at that lake park. We was out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
That big one, bro, that flew over.
That was huge. That was huge. There was probably only brothers that seen that.
Yeah. And I mean, it was huge. It could have been as big as like fucking 3 city blocks or something. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
You know? So, hey, the Lord finna start opening up on you people, man, real soon. And you're already doing it. Fucking gas prices $6, $7, $8, $9. Hey, in Michigan, they said, look, we ain't gonna arrest people that ain't committing crimes of death because gas.
Right. So life, and if it's not life threatening, they ain't coming.
Right.
Your life ain't in danger. They not worried about it.
We ain't worried about it.
And pretty soon it's gonna go to the extreme. Well, they ain't gonna come at all. You know what I'm saying?
God.
I got that Isaiah 60. It says, Isaiah 60:2 says, "Well, for behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." And we're in that point, especially with the past 500 plus years of the so-called white man's rulership, was when the darkness of the earth. Because the scriptures even tell you in the time of the Maccabees that when Alexander the Great and his generals ruled, that wickedness was multiplied.
Mm-hmm.
So darkness, it pertains to now, because those are his Alexander and his generals just coming back, the Roman Empire coming back. So they what they do, they set up false images. You know, they painted the Lord and the Messiah as looking like so-called white people. You know, they gave people started going by false nationalities, like a Chinese, which really there is no Chinese, you're a Moabite. You know what I'm saying? And the so-called white man perpetuates these falsehoods to the point where the people are just in darkness. They bugged out. And especially the Israelites, because the Israelites were prophesied into to becoming like dry bones, to the point where they have no idea what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
God. Well, hey, this is a good precept here in the book of First Maccabees 1, and I'm gonna start at verses 11. It says, "Those days went out of Israel wicked." Matter of fact, let's start at 10. It says, "And there came out of this wicked root Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes." Okay, Antiochus came out of this Seleucid dynasty. Okay, which Alexander's kingdom was broken up into his 4 generals, and they fell because it was infighting within them. Okay, you had the Ptolemaic Empire or Ptolemaic dynasty that was at war with the Seleucid dynasty, which was the kingdom of the north and the kingdom of the south. And you can read about that in Daniel the 11th chapter. Now these are Edomites against Edomites. But see, look what happened. It said, out of Israel, wicked men who persuaded many, saying, Salakia. It says, son of Antiochus, the king who have been a hostage at Rome. Okay, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, man. Which Greek, okay, they say civilization started with the Greeks, but there was really nobody called Greeks. Was more like a culture based, so to speak, because the original Greeks were Japhetic people, which were so-called people of color. Okay, so when you say that the kingdom of the Greeks, it was basically like they say black culture type shit. Because if you look at America right now, there's still Greek custom. Like if you wear a fitted hat and the logos, that's considered a Greek custom. Okay, like you go to gymnasiums and shit, or you go to a fucking bread and circus. Even the Romans adopted Greek custom because hey, the Greeks and the Romans was the same people. Okay, they were called the Greco-Romans, man, because hey, the Romans, they had more territory at the time, and they was able to take down the Greeks and say, well, look, if you don't want to converge over to us, we just gonna take you out any goddamn way. All right, but it said
real Greeks were the Japhites,
God.
which was in the scriptures known as Yavan or Javan, the one, and that's where you get one of the seas next to Greece was the Ionian Sea, which was another way of saying Yawan, like Yawonian, you know?
God. And it says here, and it says here, in those days went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we've had much sorrow. Okay, why? Because Jake, like the brother earlier, that our people, they wasn't really satisfied with keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High because it didn't bring them instant gratification, so to speak. Yet the Lord showed his miracles. He brought us out of Egypt. Okay, he swallowed up the Egyptians. Okay, he provided manna from heaven. He gave us the commandments, man. He fed us. He clothed us. Jake never went without. Okay, we had the substance and the spirit of the Egyptians. We fucking slew the Philistines. I mean, what more did Jake ask for? Okay, they saw the heathen around about him living lawless, man, without any repercussions. But they didn't understand. I said that the Most High reserved the wicked they have just judgment, man.
And that's what it says about Yahweh Shai, that he's austere. Even living life as an Israelite in righteousness, that's an austere lifestyle. There's a lot of pleasures that you got to cut off. And the simple 2/3 in their mindset is all about pleasing their flesh, you know?
That's where they go into being stoic. That whole stoicism, you got the stoics, and then you got the you got stoicism, and then you got the, what's the other one up? Keep forgetting.
Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
It's a word synonymous with hedonism, but
yeah,
it's on the tip of my tongue. I think it starts with a P.
Stoics. Nah, you're thinking of fuck, man. Basically, Stoics. We're basically be Stoics. Stoics would be more people that was like monk style. They will live a certain lifestyle. Like our law, statutes, and commandments is based on the arts of Stoicism. Okay, now the other one, on the other hand, was based on this free. It's like basically like liberals and conservatives. Basically, liberals are able to do what the hell they want. Like what you see in America is a bunch of liberalism right now. Okay, that's why everything is all mixed up, intermingled. Okay, that's why there's no type of judgment for when things go bad. Like go ahead and put a Momo in a rear naked choke and watch what's gonna happen to your ass, man. Okay.
Oh, Epicureanism.
Epicureans and Stoics,
Yeah.
which Epicureanism is basically these people, man. These
Yeah.
Epicureans and we're Stoics, man.
Yeah. Because sometimes doing what's right is not pleasing to the flesh. You know, it's like you think about a Sabbath. Sometimes on the Sabbath might be something's going on, other people partaking in, but you got to chill out. You know?
We had, hey man, we had like the last 5 Saturdays, perfect weather on a Shabbat, but we were locked down. But the Lord is so cold though, because He gave us fights to watch. Brothers were still drinking. We were just watching the fights and shit. You know, brothers out there on no kubal, on no left hand shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's merciful like that. You know, and it is what it is, shit. Because you know what, we getting ready to inherit the kingdom of righteousness, man. But reading on, it says here. So this device pleased them well, then certain of the people who were so forward, okay, and you go into that word forward, it means to just be blatant or straight, what do you call that word, man? When you, fuck, basically forward, just basically you're just out there. You have no shame in it. You have no, what's the word that women, no discreet. You have no discretion.
Yeah.
Right? And it says here, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, whereupon they built the place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, okay, which is the gymnasium, which gymnasium goes into the art of being naked. That's why we see like Aristotle, or you see certain Greek figures, man, they got the little dresses on and shit, they all butt naked, butt booty naked. That's the act of Epicureanism, man. All right.
And it's in the law that you're not supposed to show your nakedness. You're supposed to be a dude butt naked in a gym wrestling some guy oiled up. That's off. That's not an Israelite tradition. But Israelites, you know, they absorb the ways of the heathen from, you know, being next to them. And that, it's funny because you can imagine a dude, a simple ass nigga at that time, you know, some big brawling Jake, black as hell, sitting there wrestling up with some other dude, and then he's on his way home and a fucking huge pottery vase just falls on this nigga's head. And he don't understand that the Lord just did that to your ass because you was just in the gym, dummy. That's what we trying to tell Jake.
Yup. And it says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, bro. Shit, fast forward now, bam. Look at our people. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Look, man, Jake, they mad now because Biden, we call it Bidenflation.
Mm-hmm.
Told you niggas, man, what you thought this nigga was gonna hand out popsicles and cupcakes? Nah, man, he gave you niggas a fair speech and told you what you wanted to hear, and then he fucking acted on that shit a couple of months later. Now you getting ready to pay $9 in gas prices, man. Vote for the left, right? Nah, bro. Evil is evil. No such thing.
That's right. I got a precept. This is Deuteronomy 17:18. It says, "And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom," and that's referring to Solomon, but we can use it in context of us because even Peter said you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. We're going to be kings and priests unto the Lord. So it says, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahweh his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them. And that's true order. That's really the intended purposes of a king, is to meditate on the ways of the Lord and then execute them. When XYZ situation, you're supposed to think back in reference to the scriptures. But we see with the rulership right now, like Joe Biden, you think there's a guy in Joe Biden's office that's assigned to read him the scriptures every day? Hell no. These dudes are doing orgies. They're drinking blood. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing children. You know, all manner of reprobate shit. Dudes just right before a press conference just snort a whole huge line of cocaine. These are the type of things that the rulers right now are doing, man. So come on,
man. That's what that movie Doctor Strange was about. All right, and hey, you can show Jake that. What's that demon's name? The vice president chick, man. She's never around. She always take off the mask and laugh at you. Yeah,
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala, all because she smoked weed and listened to Tupac. Oh man, we down now. Get the fuck out of here, man. They ain't gonna show you the real list of Epstein Island that all your presidents and so forth you vote. Obama, okay, Tom Hanks, Jay-Z, Beyonce, okay, all these lower level luminaries was dealing with that Epstein shit.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, man. How come we can't see it? What evidence do you have that debunk what we saying? Okay, you don't have it. But anyway, I got a precept here. This is the book of Nehemiah 1, and I'm gonna start at 5. It says, "And I said, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, power of heaven, and great and terrible power, that keepeth the covenant and mercy for them that loveth him and observe his commandments." Okay, there's mercy unto those that observe the law, statutes, and commandments, man. The Lord bless you back end of that. Okay, and it's just something we're supposed to do. That's our nature, because like we're going into, without laws, you have a lawless society.
Yeah.
This society is completely lawless. What is that in Amos? It says, because the law is not executed speedily, therefore unrighteous judgment do proceed. That's in the scriptures, man. That's why that's why things are so jacked up out here. Okay, because the law, statutes, and commandments are not being pushed. Here they swear on the Bible in court, but yet when you do an act according to the scriptures, you get locked up, man. Okay, go in there and say, well, look, I did something to a Momo or an alphabet person. And you go to the book of Leviticus and say, thou should not label man, he should be surely put to death, his blood should be upon them. Go read that scripture after they made you swear on the Bible. Esau gonna look at you with two heads, man, which proves that this damn devil, he don't uphold the law. Because if he did, then you wouldn't have fucking Pride Month.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a major travesty.
Bro,
all kingdoms got,
bro, that's the sin that got Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed.
Right. Exactly.
Sin alone is enough for the Most High to bring the missiles. That's how you know we at the end of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here, let thy ear now be attentive and thy eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned, but we have dealt very corruptly against thee, and we have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses, man. Okay, and why we got took down by the Persians and the Medes, man. That's why we was in captivity under the Babylonians. That's why we was in captivity under Achaemenid dynasty and so forth, man. The Romans, the Greeks, the Americans, you know.
That's right, brother. I got another precept back in Deuteronomy 17 as well. It's Deuteronomy 17:12. It says, "And the man that will do presumptuously and not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister before Yahweh thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel." So that type of wickedness is supposed to be removed. You're supposed to remove that from your kingdom, because it's not beneficial. So that's why the Lord said, "Thou shalt remove evil by this dude dying." Are you still there? Huh? Like that brother might have went out for a second. Salakia. Right. That brothers could post something in the chat if y'all still can hear us and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just on myself. The brother might be able to come back. Salakia. I'm gonna read this again. It said Deuteronomy 17:12, "And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken to the priest that standeth to minister there." So that basically describes Jake doing presumptuously, doing from the will of your heart, but it leads to death, as that scripture says. So let's go to another precept. Wisdom of Solomon 6. So like Wisdom of Solomon 6:1 says, "Therefore, O ye kings, hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth." So people in those positions like Carl Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, the presidents of all these nations, the prime ministers, they're supposed to be hearkening to the voice of the Lord.
He froze up the live stream, bro.
Okay. Well, I think we still live though, because I see the
Yeah, yeah. It was getting too hot for E. He kicked us off.
yeah, this guy, the demon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this Wisdom of Solomon 6. This Wisdom of Solomon 6:1 says, "Hear therefore, kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsel." So the very fact that you have Edomites in rulership is because they were given that from the side. But yet and still they don't honor that. They don't give. You don't have whole oblations and sacrifices given to the Most High for thanking them having a kingdom. No, they disregard the Lord. You know, it says, "Because being ministers of His kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High." See, and that's what they do. That's why you got a such thing as what is it? The Lucius Trust. You have a such thing called the Lucius Trust, which before they changed their name was their original name of the organization was the Lucifer Foundation. Now they are the spiritual foundation of the United Nations. United Nations member actually goes into this room from the Lucius Trust and go and pray and meditate to Lucifer, man.
Yep.
That's in itself showing you what they're about, what their foundation is. It's not Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. It says, "Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places." See?
a sharp judgment, because what those missiles going to come in and rain down upon Washington D.C., London. I wouldn't doubt if Rome is gonna get hit with a missile, you know. Though, when it comes to America, it's gonna be completely wiped out with those missiles. You know, it says, "For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented." You see, because they have a greater portion of responsibility. They carry that load. Even look at what he did in his judgment to what was it, the king during the time of the king of Northern Kingdom during the time of Nebuchadnezzar. He got his eyes put out, man. He got the last thing he physically saw was his children getting put to death, and then his eyes were gouged out.
They're gouged
That was
out.
the last printed visual memory he had. And why? Because when he was a king in Israel, he was promoting idolatry and all kind of abominations.
Well, that's where the Northern Kingdom get that from, the heavy idols, because the kings, I think you have Rehoboam and Jeroboam that was over the northern and southern kingdoms, man, and they perpetuated that type of idolatry, especially the northern kingdom, man. Like when they came from Assyria and they came into the land of Assyria, which is America. Okay, when they came over here, that's why they picked up all those damn customs, because the kings they were under wicked kings. That's how they learned that shit, sacrificing it to shaman demons, man. Eating each other, cannibalism. All right, phoenix demon, phoenix worshiping birds and so forth, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm skid down in verse 24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world." Yep. So when you think about welfare, that's a good estate, because that's when, when the wise are in the rulership, meaning Israelites, the elect. That's how we're gonna have families again. That's how you're gonna have peace between man and woman, because now even fucking heathens are catching hell from their women. Women want to join the workforce. Edomite man, the average Joe Schmo Edomite, even middle class, their wives don't submit to them.
Fuck no.
But it's because what their rulers push to the people through their media, their witchcraft, and indoctrinating them in ways that are against the Most High, which is anti-life. So what's the point? Ain't we here on earth to live life? What's the point of living life if everything you do is against life? Everything you try to do is against life, and it doesn't promote peace or joy or any of these things. You see what I'm saying? You can't live in a society like that. That's why it all goes back to the foundation being the words of the Lord. It has to be the words of the Lord being put in motion. Otherwise, there's no point. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like try running a car with no oil. That's just like an earth and people without the words of the Lord. That engine it erupts, man. It's out of there. Or any other thing, anything you could think of where it's like it takes different components to keep it running. If you remove one thing, the whole system goes out of whack. You know what I'm saying? Likewise, that's the words of the Most High. When men try to remove that from out of their counsels, because the scriptures also tell you, it's in the book of Psalms, how all nations that forget the Most High shall be turned to hell.
Hell, yep.
Get turned to the grave. And hell doesn't just mean dying. It also means being in a low estate, being oppressed, being depressed, being sad, mentally crazy and messed up. Because what? Because you forgot the Lord. It says, "And the wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good." See? Through listening to the words of the Lord. And that's why it's so powerful and heavy that our nation is coming back to this at this time. Because for the longest we were through. We were through as hell. Jake thought that, getting a woman like that 90s simp spirit, R. Kelly, with the bald head and shit, they thought that was the image of what it was to be a man. Oh, I gotta sleep with as many women as possible, and I'm gonna find some big booty thought to marry her, and that's gonna be my comfort, and I have a family. Or putting all your eggs in the basket, so to speak, of behind obtaining employment here, or being a member of a gang, or the Black Panthers and the movement that they started. I'm black and I'm proud. None of these things is helped prosper our nation. All it did was break us down and put us in a low mental state, low economic state, all of that. It took everything away. But now the Most High is building us back up quick. You know, now we don't have the carnal riches. We don't have, a multitude of women, but we're going to get that. But the Lord He's starting with building us up with suffering and patience and dealing as Akim, the different governments and jurisdictions from Kansas City to Chicago to New York to LA. That's the Most High setting it back up so that these leaders, these men that are being built up now, starting with the Lord, are going to be the ones that, push that righteous vibration in the earth again.
But that's why the scripture said that the Most High set in order before thy eyes, man. Okay, because we're being built up in front of the whole world.
Right, yeah.
Unexpected. So therefore, are we coming up on a level now? You got the Asians, you got the Chinese, they all think they're going to be the next rulers, but you looking at your next rulers right here. The ones that's doing these shows who you call a waste of time, the ones who you look down upon, we're the next rulers, man. That's why the Lord said I would set thee in order before thy eyes, man. And I got one last precept, bro. We'll wrap it up in a minute. But this is the book about Sirach 13:1. It says, surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of the Most High. Okay, these men are ignorant of the Most High, because if they wasn't, they will keep the commandments. They will acknowledge the true people of the Lord. They will give forth the cadence and let people know, look, these are the children of the Lord. These are the blessed. Okay, and it says here, and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is, but neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, man. Because what this damn devil Esau say, bro, the video came out, he said, yeah, God is the creator of the heavens, the earths, and the birds, and the trees, and all this other shit. But he was like, but we're going to come and we're going to create something better. We're going to out-create the Most High, basically. That's what this fucking devil said.
Yeah.
We out-create the Most High.
Now we can be in a sense greater creators than
the Most High God.
Like, how you guys out of his mind?
Wait, how the hell you gonna
do that with inorganic compounds, man?
How the hell you gonna be a greater creator when you were created?
Right.
Didn't the scripture say, do the apostle or do the axe boasted against the owner?
Yeah.
If you got a fucking axe in your hand and you throw it, is the axe gonna look and say, why you throw me? Hell no.
Nah. Don't work like that. And plus, what Esau don't acknowledge, see, this how much of a reprobate this guy is. Everything, Esau doesn't create anything. He's not a creative. He's not a creator. He takes elements that are already here in the environment and manipulate them to synthesize something. He's an artificer. An artificer creates things out of things that are already here, meaning that the true creator is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. He's the only one and only creator. That's a law of quote unquote science. You cannot create energy or destroy it. But the Most High can do both. He could create and destroy. Esau can't destroy anything. Even with his nuclear missiles, right? All it does is dissolve elements. But all the elements that were there already still exist. They're just burned into the ether.
That's why the scriptures say, fear him that can kill both body and soul in hell, man. All right, the Most High. Esau don't create shit, man. Everything, even with inventions, man. Even Esau, he hadn't invented shit. He just takes shit and regurgitate it and rekindle it and bring it back to you, repackage it back to you, man. That's all it is, man. Same thing. We can go as low as colognes, like colognes that been on a shelf in the 80s. Here, repackage the shit, rekindle it, put more chemicals in it, and then here resell it back to you and say, hey, this is some Sean John shit. Peter, shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what he does, man. He's not natural. He have no culture. Okay, Esau, only thing Esau is the fucking devil. That's it. He's the devil that the Bible talks about. And that's it, man.
100%.
Matter of fact, I'm just one last precept, bro. The brother Iwalam Awar 777, beautiful. Isaiah 10:15, it says, sure, the axe boasted itself against him that hewed therewith. Right. Who created the axe? The person that create the axe, like you got, like the brother said, man, you got people that was artificers. They made wood. You had locksmiths. You had steel welders, okay, and they create certain weapons and they can control the weapons. They're not gonna boast against the creator of it. That's just stupid. That show you how much pride is on this man. It says here, or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it, as the rod shake itself against them that lift up, or as the staff that should lift up itself as it were no wood. Okay? Because with a whole staff, like let's just say if you had a staff and you broke it in half and it can't stand a mount anymore on a mantle, how the hell is it gonna stand? Don't you need a person that can create the staff to bolt it in? Or did the staff itself create the whole stand by itself to put it on a stand, so to speak?
That's right,
You know
brother.
what I'm saying? So this man he's finished, man. Okay? He's done. But if you got something else, bro.
Got one last one to go into it, because that's like the centerpiece of what we're going to through prophecy is the words of God being going forth. And this is a precept that pertains to the kingdom to come. You know, that's when that righteous vibration, like we talk about, is going to go out, because everything we say is scripture based. We're not like, you know, TD Fakes or any of these other guys. It's Micah 4 and 1. I started 1. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. And that's describing the order of the kingdom of heaven, because Jerusalem's government is going to be the top government. Like you have all these different meetings of government now, they call summits or a caucus. That's going to be centered around the Israelites, the 144,000 in the kingdom to come. All Israelite men, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, it says, and many nations shall come. So the Edomites, Moabites, you know, they're going to come to our nation to understand the laws. And the Esau is going to be done away with past a certain point in time. Just to put that out there. It says, and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. They will not lift up sword against nation. That's peace. That's true peace.
Yep.
Why ain't any nation gonna do that? Because we're gonna have so much power, man. We'll have so much power. No nation's gonna think about committing war against each other. And our laws will be so righteous that and fair that no nation will want to invade another nation, because they're gonna have what they want. They're gonna have their own land. Why do I need to take this? Only thing that will make you do that is having a covetous eye. And if you covet your neighbor's possession, the Israelites gonna deal with you in that time period. It ain't gonna be no, oh, we just sit back and let these two nations duke it out. No, we're gonna intervene. It says, neither shall they learn war anymore, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God. And that doesn't mean the nations will worship other gods. They're going to worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
Yep. God.
That's pretty much it.
God. Well, hey, brothers, man. Water for the precept, man. Y'all lit the comment board up. Shit. Hey, that's the spirit, man. We gonna close out and give all praises. And my phone's finna die too, so I have put on charger. But hey, want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bash, Dash, double apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball. Lord's will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.